Okay, so let's quickly now just do a summary, a little journey around the digestive system. And we'll start at the stomach. So the stomach is a big bag of muscle which stores food for a short time, about 1 to 3 hours, and mixes food with acids and enzymes and forms something called chyme. So in the stomach, it is proteins that are beginning to be digested. So continuing on, all you need to know about the liver is that it produces bile, which helps neutralize the acid in the chyme and also creates the bile, of course, which is used in the digestions of fat. So just flipping around the digestive system a bit, then we have the pancreas, and of course the pancreas contains or produces the enzymes, and also remember it produces something called insulin, which is used in the digestion of carbohydrates. Next up is the gallbladder, which is storing the bile before it enters the small intestine. Flipping it around again, we have the large intestine, also called the colon, and the large intestine, which is wider than the small intestine, is what reabsorbs the water from the food that you have digested. It also absorbs some of the vitamins and the minerals. The rectum is where the feces that is about to be egested is stored before, again, it can be egested at an appropriate time. And then at the end we have the anus, which is how the feces leaves. Remember, of course, that constipation can result if there is not enough fiber in your diet, and also if the feces become too dry and are hard to pass through the anus. So the small intestine is where the digested food is absorbed, okay, especially the carbohydrates, and this is where the glucose enters the blood. It's also where some fat is absorbed, but most of the absorption of your food comes at the small intestine. We have the esophagus, okay, and the esophagus is a muscular tube which helps food move down the stomach by a process that, remember, we called peristalsis. And we have the mouth and the salivary glands. And the salivary glands, there are 3 pairs, and they produce the saliva, which is a form of chemical digestion because it has these enzymes which break down the starch especially. And also involved is the mouth, and the mouth contains the teeth, which physically break down the food by chewing, forming the bolus, which allows the food to again go down the esophagus into the stomach and begin digestion. Okay, so that's the last part, the mouth with its teeth. Okay, that's where you begin to chew and swallow. Then we have something called the appendix, which some of you may get cut out, and that's kind of a loose end of the digestive system, which we won't go into too much detail with. And then we're back at the stomach. So that's a short summary of the digestive system.